My name is Mark Miner. I am an investigative writer and author. In my travels, I've investigated many people and places. Watch as I seek out stories that are typically outside of the box of normal. I am the Seeker. Hi everybody. So I want to start this episode and future episodes about sex trafficking in Oregon. I wanted to approach this very slowly, very thoroughly, and that's why it's taken me some time to get it up, even though some of you knew that I was going to do it. As with most stories, as a writer, investigative writer, most stories are dropped in my lap, or I find out certain topics or stories as I'm investigating another one, or there's a lot of overlap there. This story, this particular story came to me through an informant of mine. So as an investigative writer, I do have several informants on topics that are huge, that they let me know what's going on, or people I can talk to. We've all heard about sex trafficking with Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. However, it doesn't really hit home to how massive this topic is until it hits your own state. I was very surprised to find out that Oregon was one of the largest, or one of the biggest states or largest states to have sex trafficking in. And I started doing some investigation or research into that, and it's true. There are a lot of children and women who come out missing that are believed to be abducted for sex trafficking. There are a small amount of men, they're just not as prevalent. Anyway, so how this fell into my lap. So I was out doing a shoot at a location for one of the episodes, and I got a call from my informant. This is when I happened to be in Portland, and so this specific informant does live in Portland. And he told me of a location where I could go to see where there's an underground bunker where children are, when they're abducted, that's where they take these children. I was a little unclear of why they would do that, but my informant, this particular informant, is a little skittish, so he wants to see trust in me. So he didn't want to give me any more information until I actually went to the location, which you'll see in a future episode. When I went to the location, I texted him and let him know I was there, took a few pictures of the location for the underground bunker, and sent it to him to let him know that I was there. Before I investigated the bunker, I was talking to my informant on the phone, and he let me know that after the children are brought here, they are then taken to several airports, and that he gave me the location of. Well, I can't do it all in one day because I was in the Portland area, in the outskirts of it, and this location with the airports was quite a few hundred miles away. So I decided to investigate the underground bunker as thoroughly as I could. Later on, when I went home, I did do research on the airstrips to this small town, and we're going to cover that in this video. This is where I want to start this. I want to start this very carefully, because I don't want to put out any misinformation. I don't want to embellish anything. I want it to be raw and truthful as possible. So we're going to start with the landing strips in this small town in Oregon. How odd it is. The amount of people that's in this small town, there shouldn't be this many airports in this town. And I have talked to a few people in this town who do not want to be on tape, who have verified the amount of traffic going through each of these landing strips. I talked to a few people in this town who were not very receptive of me, which you get that a lot as an investigative writer. You just kind of have to take it on the chin. And as usual, well, I shouldn't say as usual, sometimes I get chased out of areas or followed. And in this case, when I was in this small town, as you'll see by the video I'm about ready to show, I was followed. So I kind of left and then came back another day. So with that being said, I just want to kind of explain to you how I got into this topic and this story. It is a very big story for me, as it should be for everybody, because as I'm finding out, there is a lot of government involvement, and there are a lot of important people who are involved in this, and I have to do this very carefully to get this on tape and onto YouTube without getting sued or having charges put against me or any threats. So with that being said, I'm going to do this as best as I can. So you have to be patient with me because I'm going to break up into many episodes. So just keep looking forward to that. Right? Thanks, guys. Enjoy this episode. Okay, guys, so I am trying to find this airport where they ship children out that they abduct into California. It's all part of the investigation that I'm doing, which you know you're aware of. So I'm here in Sheridan, where the airport is, and it's called Morgan's Airport. I have it on Google Maps, but there's no road that leads to it, and I don't see any airstrip whatsoever. So I stopped and asked a girl about it. She flat out denied it until I asked her, or I showed it to her on Google Maps, and she's like, oh yeah. She goes, you have to go to the 4-way stop and take a right turn on the dirt roads. And I'm like, do you see airplanes flying in and out there? She goes, she does. And I said, well, how many do you see? And she goes, just one. It lands, stops, and then flies off again. So we're on the right track. So I'm kind of have this in segments because I'm trying to find this place. So I'm going to let you go right now, and then I'm going to see if I can find it. But I'm going to keep the camera ready just in case some weirdness goes down, because I'm getting a little spooked here. It's very out in the country, as you can see. Out in the middle of nowhere. So I'm going to let you guys go, and I'll talk to you in a second. Okay, so I couldn't find the Morgan Airport. I'm going to go home and do a little bit more research on it. But I did stop and ask somebody if there's an airport in this area, and he's leading me to a George Airport. So that's where I'm heading right now to see how well used it is. So I will get back to you guys here in a minute. Okay guys, so I am gonna give up for the day. I'm gonna go home, do some research on Morgan Airport in Sheridan, Oregon. That is the airport that supposedly they were taking flights out for abducting children. So
I am taking a break right now, and then I'm going to get into the nearest town and use the restroom. It's been a while, and then I will get back to you guys, and this is the first step in the investigation. So we'll see how it goes. Talk to you soon.
Alright guys, so that was the first episode, and I would love to hear your comments, your questions, and such. I do want to let you know what's coming up on future episodes for, I'm going to label them all Sex Trafficking Oregon, or Oregon Sex Trafficking Joey. So I'm going to break these up in episodes so you'll see what further episodes I'm going to be doing. So I want to do a complete episode on the signs of an abduction. When you go to a grocery store, you go out shopping, or whatever, what to look for. That the police have told me what to look for so that you won't get abducted, or your children. Okay, a lot of this is going to be common sense for you guys, but you'd be surprised how many people don't realize, that these are actual signs that there's a possible abduction that already happened with you or someone else. Another episode I want to do is a possible government involvement. This is going to be tricky because I have to do this, as I said before at the beginning of this episode, I have to do this very carefully. I have to inform you guys of the establishment that these kids and women are being taken to, which I'm doing an investigation on, and I'm trying to get proof to back everything I say up. I'm going to do another episode on where do these women, children, and men, boys, where do they go? Where are they taken? What's done to them? And the only reason why I know this is because I have interviewed some people who have been abducted and were rescued and or escaped, and they told all. I will tell you, it's a very disturbing interview with these heroic people, which you'll see those in some of the future episodes, which is, again, what I was going to tell you. I have personal interviews. I want to do a very well-rounded investigation on this and be very informative, like I said before, and be very truthful. I'm going to tell you everything that I'm putting on these episodes I can back up with proof. I never put anything on these episodes that I can't back up. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and please look forward to those future episodes on this topic. You guys are awesome. I always want to say that because I love that you guys come along with me on these things. Also, gotta let you know, stay weird, be weird, and you know what? Don't be ashamed of being weird. It's a compliment. Alright guys, talk to you later. Bye.